I love principals more than my child.
Yikes.
That's a really, and that is the truth.
That is the truth.
It is the truth. And I kind of hesitate saying it because I know that we live in a culture right now where the parents worship the child. That's exactly where I was going.
I just can't believe that we all used to sit there. Not all of us. I'm well aware that a lot of us had no idea that, Jodie and Ruby were going about saying what they were saying. But a lot of us who knew about them before their conviction, before they even got caught, before all this nasty stuff came to fruition, they used to sit there on that very sofa saying this kind of stuff all the time.
You experiencing any anxiety or depression or overwhelm, or if you're like me, you're just wanting to kick your family out of the house for a few days.
People used to follow what they were saying. They used to have so many people going along, getting together, actually believing what they were saying. They used to have retreats where people would go to. They had all sorts of stuff going on. They had their Facebook group, which was actually run by Jodie and Ruby. They used to kick people off. I got kicked off there once upon a time, and they used to have people actually asking them questions, like wanting to follow their truth.
And I think I'm getting away with it. Nobody knows. It might be 5 years, 10 years. I might even take it to the grave with me. My dirty little secret. So it appears that I don't have any outcomes, and I get away with it.
Right. And the reality is, the second that Ruby or I or you choose to be dishonest, there are instant outcomes.
Just can't believe that all of that happened. Least to say, we're going to be talking about Jodie and Ruby today. We're going to be talking about this ex-cellmate who came out like right at the very, very, very beginning when all of this was happening. I remember I covered this video. What ended up happening was this woman called Deborah was basically put in a cell at the same time with Ruby primarily, and she said all of this different stuff, and a lot of people were saying, like, is that even true? I don't know about it. But I'm actually going to compare some of the things that she was saying, such as the money. She was the first person to come out and say that Ruby was on the phone to Kevin saying, can you go into the house and get my money? We're going to go back over that. We're also going to go over the fact that there is a second channel, which I didn't actually think it was their channel. I'm still a little bit like, was this a fan page? Was this not? But you can go on YouTube and actually go find it. It's 8 Passengers, EIGHT, 8 Passengers. And there is this video called My Kids Took Me to Jail, and it is the same 2 kids that were found in the house.
2 umbrellas. Hands up.
Weren't you afraid of the police coming to our house earlier today because of the popsicles?
Go. Okay. You stole something. You stole the money.
I stole the money?
It's just a very, very strange time. So we're going to go over those 2 things today. But before we do so, I just want to talk about today's sponsor, Aura. So I'm sure that we can all agree that the internet is a pretty incredible place. I enjoy my time over the internet. I make videos. I use the internet on a regular basis. I'm using it on my phone. I'm also using it on my computer. However, the internet does have its dark sides too. And I just don't want my information ending up in the wrong hands, and I don't want your information ending up in the wrong hands either. So data brokers want to sell your information to scammers and spammers and anyone else who want to target you, which is exactly the reason why I'm using Aura, who is the sponsor of today's video. Aura spots which data brokers are trying to sell my information and help me opt out automatically. Clearing my data through Aura just feels like a complete fresh start. It means that there's less spam and there's less risk of hacker attacks. There's me and my 2 girls, okay, very small family. I just like to make sure that whatever's going on my internet, it's safe, all right? I do not need the additional worry of worrying whether or not I have been hacked or worrying, whether or not my information is being sent to far and beyond, okay? I do not need that. I do not need that extra mental load in my life. So Aura includes all these really cool features, okay? So antivirus, VPN, password management, parental controls, identity theft insurance, and more. And I get all of that at a really affordable price. So think of Aura as your timeless online ally, right? Like that bodyguard that you always wanted, but it's built into your screen. You don't have to worry about your stuff going anywhere you don't want it to go, okay? It's like your own personal bodyguard for the digital age. What's not to like? So if you want to go and get your free 2-week trial and you want to have that peace of mind as well, and you want to be rocking that personal bodyguard, please go and visit the link. I will leave it linked in the description box. Also put it across the screen for your 2 free-week trial. That's really hard to say. Your free 2-week trial, www.aura.com/Ammy. You can find the link in my description. Once again, thank you so much, Aura, the sponsor of today's video, for keeping me and my family safe on the internet.
One last discussion. So, in the home, when the warrant was issued, there was a bag with $85,000 cash in it. And I understand her lawyer, Ruby's lawyer, has all that.
So if we can all cast our minds back, right, cast them back to around 7 months ago, we had this lady called Deborah Monson, who, her account is now private, by the way, over on TikTok, but regardless, she did appear and she had no idea who Ruby Franke or Jodie Hildebrand was, all right? She had no idea. She was put in jail. She was allowed out. It was quite quick, a couple of days. I can't remember, but it was in and out. So she didn't know who these people were. And it was only until she got back and she had supposedly was having a conversation with her family in the car when they came to get her. And she said that, oh my gosh, yeah, I met those 2 people. At most, she definitely met Ruby. I can't remember if she met Jodie, but she was like, yeah, no, I know. I was there with them. Ruby and Jodie were both kept separately, but at one point, Deborah ended up spending time with both of them. And she came to TikTok and everyone was saying, I don't believe you, don't believe you. She then went and did a couple of interviews over on Business Insider. I didn't think it was overly suspicious. I lent more into believing her because of what she was saying about the way Ruby was acting. It was very in line. But of course, she was then saying these other things, such as, you know, she was allowed a pen and paper. She was on unaliving watch. There was something very, very, very specific that she was saying came to light that Ruby had basically been emptying the bank accounts. Now, I'm pretty sure this is what Kevin Franke had said, but their bank accounts of the children were being emptied. This is what Kevin had to say.
Last discussion. So, in the home, when the warrant was issued, there was a bag with $85,000 cash in it. And I understand her lawyer, Ruby's lawyer, has all that.
I'm not.
Which home are we talking about?
Ivan.
In Ivan's?
In Ivan's home.
We don't know. The money was left where it was left. We didn't take it. People within the house and secured them. We left. We're assuming that Lamar Windward was able to retrieve it, but we don't. I can't tell you. One or the other.
So here's kind of the issue. That money, she cleaned out their bank accounts.
The kids' savings account.
Yes, and yours too, your joint account.
Yeah.
And that's where that money came from. So I don't know if you can have, or if I need to have a discussion with the county attorney. Kevin would kind of like his kids' money back.
So not only had Ruby been going around and she'd been trying to get cars, and like at one point she was trying to get Kevin's signature to actually get rid of the house. She was just, I reckon it was because Jodie had supposedly wanted to buy this piece of land to make the children work on. Not only that, but I mean, at that point, the kids were basically living there. I reckon she wanted all of them to be with her. That's just my own personal opinion. This is what Deborah had to say. Now, I had to go on the 8-passenger snark Reddit thread because, of course, Deborah's account is now private. I can't access it. At one point, she had this video, and in this video, Deborah had said all of this information, but of course, it's private. This was the breakdown of it. And on the very first bit, it says, cellmate overheard a phone conversation between Ruby and Kevin. They instructed their attorney to visit their residence and collect money hidden in the house. When the attorney arrived, the money was nowhere to be found, causing Ruby to panic about being unable to pay him. Why on earth would somebody make this up? Why? And this is something that I thought, it's very oddly specific for someone just to make up, just like the flood damage, okay? I just think it's way too specific. Like, you've got too much time on your hands if you're going to be making this up, but this does line up with the fact that Ruby did in fact have a load of money stashed.
So I pulled the money and I have it in a bag. And
With you? Do the police have it?
well, I don't know what the police took. I don't know what the police have.
But the bag was at Jody's house?
They can't just take people's money. I mean, that's not right.
Well, they're not going to take the money, but when they have a search warrant...
She then stashed a load of money, and this is what this Deborah lady was saying. Cellmate was surprised by how emotionless Ruby was. She only teared up once and said that she missed her kid, said that Ruby seemed more concerned with her own life than the lives of her children. Ruby was very worried about Jody and was trying desperately to catch glimpses of her. She spent a lot of time praying silently in her cell.
I do feel strong. I feel calm. And you know what? They may... Adults have a really hard time understanding that children can be full of evil and what that takes to fight it.
Supposedly she was running around, like asking what about Jody, and Jody was looking very upset and crying. And I can believe that, because when Jody was pulled out of her house, you could see that she was like in a bit of a mental... She was having a bit of a mentee bee, alright? She was having a bit of a mental breakdown standing outside, you know, as she would. So this all does kind of line up. My whole entire point is that the actual article, which I'll leave linked, one of them was, you know, Ruby was acting smitten over Jody. This was a Business Insider, and that she was allowed special privileges when she was in jail, such as a pen and paper, and she was allowed to get up and use the phone. I just thought that was a really interesting thing to note. Now on to the next point. The next point that I do want to make is that I was sent a link to this video, and I'll just leave it up here, which, by the way, like the thumbnail to this, wild. Exact same children as well.
Pulling it too hard.
And it opened?
It opened by itself. When I dropped it.
Hurry and put it back, maybe they won't notice.
Can you help me?
Sure. It was the most expensive popsicle I ever bought, and you almost went to jail. Okay, we're holding. Are we all holding hands?
Yeah, but what if the police follows us and sees it?
I told the kids years ago when it became a big problem, I'm like, if you open those before mom pays for them, they will call the police. When he dropped the bag of popsicles and accidentally broke the seal and one popped out, she was like, I don't want to go to jail. I don't want them to call the police. It was kind of funny.
It's kind of funny.
Ruby's trying to instill fear into her youngest, I think, that, you know, if you open it up, the police are going to come and take you away. And I think some of the things that she used to say were just so off the cuff.
It was kind of funny.
I can really understand why people were having an issue with her, like, way before. And I mean, like, before the bed situation. I mean, like, I can understand why some people were always just a bit like, ooh. Some of the things that you say to your kids, or just the way that you are, just isn't exactly... I don't know. I just don't think it was a very normal response. But this is who we're talking about.
You're dead. We're the police, and you're the robber, I mean.
I'm the robber and you're the police.
Hey, go, 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 go.
I give up. I give up. I give up. My hands are down. You got me. Arrest me.
Get off.
Take me. You're locking my hands with an umbrella, huh?
2 umbrellas.
Weren't you afraid of the police coming to our house earlier today because of the popsicles?
Go, go, go.
Okay.
You stole something. And you stole the money.
I stole the money?
I'm sorry, what? Premonition who? See into the future who? What the hell?
Kevin would kind of like his kids' money back.
Yeah, so it would be...
So unbelievably bizarre. I do think that someone should probably take those videos down because, you know, the kids have been exploited enough. I feel like having these videos up is just not serving absolutely anyone. If anything, it's just going to highlight just what of a weirdo oddball Ruby is. But I do think that whoever is kind of behind this, because it does say that it is the 8 passengers, a second channel, in which case can someone just grant access to it and get rid of the videos? Because I'm fairly sure if you ask any of those kids, they'll say they don't want those videos up anymore. So I don't really know, but I do think maybe they should come down. But it was just really interesting just seeing that video and knowing what we know now. Yeah.
You got me. Arrest me.
Get off.
Take me.
Yeah, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. I thank you so much for watching today's video, and please, if you feel like it, go and get a 2-week free trial from my sponsorship Aura. Go and check them out. Like I say, I'll leave everything in the description box down below. Hope you guys have a wonderful day wherever you are in this world. Take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and I will catch up with you guys in the next video.